Have you ever found yourself tangled in legal jargon, wishing for a clear, straightforward explanation? Welcome to Beyond Borders Podcast, your gateway to understanding the fascinating world of law. Imagine navigating the twists and turns of real estate, breaking down barriers in business immigration, creating asset protection in complex structures in corporate law, securing your legacy with estate planning, or overcoming financial hurdles like bankruptcy and foreclosure. Each episode is your personal guide, offering practical insights and real-world applications that bring clarity to your legal concerns. We're here to transform confusion into confidence with trustworthy, concise information. So whether you're commuting, hitting the gym, or relaxing at home, tune in to Beyond the Borders Podcast, brought to you by Bauer, Gutierrez, and Barbeau.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond Borders, where we break down the complex immigration topics into simple, actionable advice. I'm your host, Gianni Piantini, and today we're diving into a topic that I think is incredibly important: debunking the myths surrounding immigration processes. There's so much misinformation out there, and it's easy to get caught up in it, but don't worry. We're here to set the record straight and help you navigate the immigration journey with the facts that you need. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's separate fact from fiction. All right, let's talk about why we're even discussing immigration myths today. You know, in this age of information overload, it's easy to get caught up in misconceptions. And these myths are everywhere, from social media to water cooler conversations. But here's the thing: making decisions based on bad information, that's obviously a recipe for disaster, especially when it comes to something as crucial as immigration. Okay, let's kick things off with myth number one: immigration is just about getting a visa. Getting a visa is just the tip of the iceberg. It's like saying marriage is just about saying I do. There's much more to it. And many people think that once they secure a visa, they're in the clear and that all the hard work is over. But in reality, immigration is a complex journey filled with nuances and ongoing responsibilities that go far beyond the initial visa approval. So just like a wedding marks the beginning of a marriage, getting a visa is only the start of your immigration journey. What follows is a continuous process of maintaining your legal status, adhering to employment and travel regulations, and ensuring compliance with visa conditions. And that usually varies depending on the type of visa that you hold. For instance, certain work visas may require that you stay employed with a specific employer or within a certain industry, while others may allow more flexibility. And then some visas come with time restrictions, and many have also strict renewal processes. And if your circumstances change, for example, if you get a new job or you move to a new state, you may have to update your visa status or even apply for a new visa altogether. It's also important to understand that each visa category has its own specific set of rules and obligations that must be followed to avoid violating your status, which can, of course, lead to deportation or being barred from re-entering the United States. So when someone says immigration is just about getting a visa, they're really oversimplifying a much more intricate process. Immigration is a long-term commitment that requires planning, attention to detail, and often legal advice to ensure everything goes smoothly. This is why it's so crucial to stay informed, follow the correct procedures, and of course, seek professional help when needed, because the visa is only the beginning of the bigger picture. Now, on to myth number two: only high-skilled workers can immigrate. This one's a classic misconception. And of course, we hear a lot about tech workers and doctors, but the US immigration system is way more diverse than that and extends far beyond just high-skilled individuals with advanced degrees. The reality is that US immigration offers a range of visa categories designed for people across a broad spectrum of industries and skill levels. For example, the H-2A and H-2B visa programs allow agricultural workers and seasonal laborers to contribute significantly to industries like farming, landscaping, hospitality, and construction. These programs reflect the demand for essential labor in sectors that keep the economy moving, but may not require advanced educational qualifications. There's also the O-1 visa, which is reserved for individuals with extraordinary ability in fields like the arts, entertainment, athletics, and more. This visa category has brought extraordinary actors, musicians, visual artists, athletes, and even fashion designers to the US, allowing them to contribute their talents and expertise. Let's not forget the E2 investor visa, which enables individuals who make substantial financial investments in the US economy to work temporarily in the US. And this visa benefits entrepreneurs who may not have a technical background, but possess the capital to stimulate job growth and economic development in the US. The bottom line is this: US immigration isn't just about high tech or high skilled industries. So whether you're a talented artist, an entrepreneur, a seasonal worker, or someone who doesn't fit into the typical high skilled category, there's likely a visa category that matches your qualifications. And it's really all about finding the right path based on your individual circumstances. Myth number 3 is a personal favorite of mine. Immigration processes are quick and easy. If only that were the case. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Immigration is often anything but quick and easy. It's a complex, multi-step process that requires careful attention to detail, patience, and persistence. So it's not like ordering a pizza where you can expect it to show up at your doorstep in 30 minutes or less. The truth is that each immigration case is unique, and timeline can vary widely depending on your specific situation, the type of visa or status you're applying for, and even factors like government backlogs or even policy changes. Okay, so let's break it down. Some people wait months or even years for their applications to be processed, and this can be due to a number of reasons, whether it's because U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service, or USCIS, is overwhelmed with the applications. There's additional background checks that are required, or there are even changes in immigration policy that affect the processing times. And if there are any errors in paperwork or additional documentation that is needed, that can also cause further delays in your immigration case. Beyond the initial application, there are other potential hurdles such as visa interviews, biometric appointments, and medical examinations for green card applicants, all of which require scheduling, preparation, and of course, waiting. In addition, green card applicants may find themselves in a lengthy waiting period if their visa category is subject to annual quotas, which means that even after approval of the petition, they may still face a significant delay before receiving their approval for their green card application. Even those with visas need to be mindful of the ongoing requirements to maintain their status, because missing a deadline or even failing to comply with certain visa conditions can lead to a denial. And it's not uncommon, of course, for people to feel frustrated or a little bit overwhelmed by how slow the processes can be. That's totally understandable, especially, when you're eager to start a new chapter of your life in the US. That's why many applicants turn to legal professionals like myself to help guide them through the entire process. Immigration attorneys spend countless hours helping make sure everything is in order, because even a small little error can truly lead to delays, requests for evidence, or outright denials of your case. So when someone tells you that immigration is quick and easy, they're likely underestimating how challenging and time-consuming it can be. It's really a long-term investment of time, energy, and resources. But of course, with the right guidance and a little tiny bit of patience, it's a journey that can ultimately lead to achieving your goals. Now, myth number 4 is the one that keeps me in business. You can handle the immigration process alone. This is one of the most common misconceptions, and it often leads to costly mistakes. So while it's technically possible to navigate the immigration processes without professional help, it's incredibly complex and full of potential pitfalls. Immigration law, number 1, is constantly changing, and even minor errors in your paperwork can lead to delays or denials of your application or petition. And each visa type, green card application, or other immigration benefit has specific requirements, and missing just one little detail can derail the rest of your case. To make matters worse, many people turn to so-called notarios for help. And notarios, unlike licensed attorneys in the US, are not authorized or trained to practice law or provide legal advice. In many Latin American countries, the term notario refers to a person with extensive legal training, similar to an attorney. But in the US, notarios are not licensed to practice law and often have no legal training whatsoever. Despite this, many notarios market themselves as immigration experts, taking advantage of vulnerable individuals who really may not be aware of those distinctions. Representing clients in immigration matters without being licensed constitutes the unlawful practice of law in the US, and it can have severe consequences for those seeking immigration benefits. And just to give you a little example, I did work on a case with a music artist who had originally engaged a notario for help on his O1 visa and for help with his essential support personnel for their O2 visa. The notario charged the artist a significant amount of money, but really delivered substandard service, which almost cost the artist their opportunity to work in the US. And basically what happened was that the notario prepared an extremely small and inadequate packet for both the O1 visa and the O2 visa, and it was multiple O2 members. So the packet was, this tiny. And the O1 visa, which is for individuals with extraordinary ability, requires substantial evidence, just to give you guys an idea, and it's to prove the applicant's or the beneficiary's qualifications. And the O2 visa, which is meant for artist support team, also demands detailed documentation. However, the packet was very barren, lacking the necessary evidence, legal arguments, or even supporting documentation to justify the approvals. When USCIS ended up issuing a request for evidence or RFE, which is a chance to supplement the case and address deficiencies of the case, the notario merely resent the same packet without adding any new arguments, without any new documents or any legal briefs. And this neglect ignored the purpose of the RFE, which is to strengthen the case, and obviously showed a clear lack of understanding of the immigration processes. By the time the client received the notice of intent to deny, the damage was done and the notario had failed to address the initial deficiencies, and now the artist's entire case was in jeopardy. The notario did not keep a complete filing of the case. So it was clearly a breach of their professional responsibility. And so by the time that the case came to me, upon reviewing it, I did discover that the O2 visas, which are for the essential support personnel, had incorrect job titles listed in a letter that's required. It's a labor union letter, and it's a critical document for these type of visa applications. So we did have to redo that, and that led to additional costs for my client. So the client ultimately ended up having to spend more time, more money to hire me and rebuild the case from scratch. And we had to gather new evidence, fix the errors, and properly respond to the immigration authorities, and ultimately ended up with the approval. This is a classic example of the harm caused by unlicensed individuals attempting to practice law. Notarios lack the legal training required to navigate the intricacies of immigration law. And unlike immigration attorneys who are held to the ethical standards and possess the legal knowledge that is required for these type of cases, notarios often take advantage of individuals by offering false promises and inadequate services. As such, working with a qualified immigration attorney ensures that your case is in capable hands. With your future on the line, it's always best to seek professional legal assistance rather than going through it alone or relying on unqualified sources. That brings us to myth number 5, family sponsorship guarantees immigration. This one can be a bit tricky to understand. Yes, having family in the US can definitely help your immigration process, but it's not a golden ticket. It's not as simple as saying, hey, my cousin's in America, let me in. There are strict eligibility requirements, long waiting periods, and a detailed legal process that must be followed. First, it's important to clarify who qualifies as a family sponsor under US immigration law. Not every family relationship can sponsor someone for a visa. For instance, while US citizens can petition for their spouses, children, parents, and siblings, lawful permanent residents, green card holders, are limited to sponsoring their spouses and unmarried children. So if you're hoping your cousin or aunt can sponsor you, unfortunately, they cannot. Even if you're eligible for family sponsorship, the process can be far from simple or quick. For immediate relatives, such as spouses, unmarried children under 21, and parents of US citizens, the process is more streamlined. However, even then, there are still document submissions and processing times to navigate. For non-immediate family members, the waiting period can be significantly longer. For example, if you're a sibling of a US citizen, you could be facing a wait of several years, even decades, depending on your home country. There are annual quotas on how many visas can be issued for each family-based category. And some categories have severe backlogs, especially for applicants from countries like India, Mexico, the Philippines, and China. In short, family sponsorship can certainly be a helpful avenue for immigration, but it's not a guarantee, fast-track solution. It's really a process full of requirements and timelines that vary depending on the relationship and other factors. Myth number 6, which is our final myth for the day, is a big one. Once you have a green card, you are safe. Not so fast. While having a green card gives you the right to live and work in the US permanently, it also comes with certain responsibilities. You need to maintain continuous residence in the country, and there are several ways you could potentially lose your green card status. For example, if you leave the US for an extended period of time without proper documentation, such as a reentry permit, it could be considered an abandonment of your residency. Other factors like committing certain crimes could also jeopardize your status. So it's not just a set it and forget it kind of deal. Permanent residency requires ongoing compliance with US immigration laws to ensure that you can continue reaping its benefits. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, so thank you so much for sticking with us. I hope this episode has cleared up some of the fog surrounding immigration myths. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to searing the complex world of immigration law. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, drop us a line below, and we will be sure to help you navigate the twists and turns of U.S. immigration law. Until next time, this is Gianni Piantini reminding you that in the world of immigration, the truth isn't just out there, it's right here on Beyond Borders. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Beyond Borders podcast. We hope you found today's episode informative and engaging. Our goal at Bauer Gutierrez and Bourbon is always to equip you with the knowledge and tools you need to navigate your legal challenges with confidence. Remember, our experienced team is always here to assist you with your legal needs, whether it's in real estate, estate planning, corporate law, bankruptcy, foreclosure, taxation, or of course, immigration. If you have any questions or would like to discuss your situation further, please don't hesitate to contact our office. Stay tuned for more episodes, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Beyond Borders podcast.